is the Friday update. Good morning, friends. How are you today? Hope you're doing well. Alright, so I'm out here this morning, gonna beat the heat. Right now it's still tolerable out here. It's gonna get really hot really fast. So I wanted to do this update real quick because I can't let you down. Alright, so actually this time I'm gonna start on this end, work my way back. And if I sound a little funny, I'm sorry. Something's up with my throat. It feels a little swollen. First thing, Ayden's garden. His garden's doing amazing. This child is like, he's got a green thumb. He did great last year. He's doing great this year. Now his beans, as you've seen, oh, here's some more. In his past videos, his beans are doing great. And they keep producing. Well, I pulled a little bit more off of that than I wanted to. We keep harvesting, and they keep producing, which, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. A couple more today. I'll have him come through here later and see if there's others, which I'm sure there are. There usually is. But he still has this, which we are thinking is a watermelon, right here. You guys have any idea? This was the volunteer. And I'm thinking that's a watermelon. We're just not 100% sure on that because we didn't plant this, so we don't know exactly what it is. I mean, if you have any idea what that is, let us know, but we're thinking watermelon. That's what it looks like. And it's oval shape, like oblong, so it's not pumpkin shaped, unless there's a pumpkin that I don't know about that's that shape. Who knows? He's got lots of little yellow squash coming in. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny plant, and he's got squash coming in that. Even on this one, tiny, tiny plants. And you can see the little squash right here. One right here on this, very small plant. And yet, he's got squash on all of them. You can see, I don't know, well, it's harder to see, but these three plants right here, and they're so tiny. And yet they have squash on them. He takes very good care of his plants. I'm going to put these beans down. It's hard to do this while I'm holding these beans. So, let's see what else he has going on. He's got, this is a pumpkin, growing nice and big. Right here. See, this is a, that's good pumpkin. Hoping it lasts. I think I just got bit in the forehead. So overall, his garden is doing really well. If you just sit here, you can see all the activity with all the bees. There's butterflies. We've seen a couple of monarchs in here. Alright, so we do have watermelon growing. We have, there's, that one's getting so big. We have a few of them already. The biggest one's probably about like that big, so, I mean, obviously not huge, but getting there. So, you can see right, where is it? There. That's the biggest one we have, that I can see anyway. And then there's some smaller ones that you can see right here. And throughout. There's a lot of them that's the smaller size. There's itty bitty 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 one right here. And about all over there. You can see they're just kind of growing around the same rate. All over the place. Starting to come out here. Here's one right here. We got one right here. So they're doing well. Pumpkins are, I'm not sure. I can't really get in there to see. I've got this one winding up. I like it. I wanted it to sort of wind up here and go around there just to kind of fill it in and make it look nice. It did that last year over there where we had the pumpkins. It went all up on the lattice and I thought it looked really, really pretty. So we'll try to do that this year and see if it works. So I've been kind of directing all of the vines to kind of go this way so I can get them to grow up. You can see one over there that's starting to kind of go up over the bench. see pumpkins in here. I've seen some on the edges, but I don't see any inside, but I can't really get in here to look. So what it's probably going to happen is like last year. Oh yeah, I see one little one right there. Alright, so we have pumpkins growing. It's just hard to get in there. What happened last year is we had planted them over there in a bed. And it's getting hot out here. I'm sitting in the shade. And we were weeding that bed and we found like this giant pumpkin and I got wicked excited. Actually, I'll put the link up here to that video because it's kind of funny that I got that excited and screamed a little. Look at this lettuce. Look at that. Those are basically baby greens right there. We could harvest those and eat them right now if we wanted to. I might do that for a dinner. Have some chicken. I can make a little side salad with kale. Oh yeah, that sounds good. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, here's the cabbage. Doing very well. So, nice and big. We've got some damage to the leaves here. That's from before. I don't think I see a whole lot of new damage from last week. It seems to look about the same. So that's good news, right? Onions. Starting to pop out here. See, they're starting to come out here. I'm letting them go a little bit longer. We are sort of harvesting these as we need them. They're coming out a pretty good size. I don't expect them to be some huge, giant onion like from the grocery store. So they're fine for what we use them for. All of Emiley's flowers, look how big they're getting. And they're starting to get little buds on them. All over the place. So I'm sure these will be blooming very, very soon. And we'll have lots of pollinators over here. So guys, one thing I'm so happy about and pretty proud of are these two pepper plants that refuse to give up. Reminds me a lot of me, to be honest with you. Refuse to give up. Look at how big these pepper plants have gotten. I have said in past videos, I planted 6. These are the only 2 that lived. And if you look closely, here, I found a few of them. There are peppers growing. Oh, down here, right here. We have peppers growing. Teeny tiny little peppers right there. Right there, right there. We have green peppers growing. I didn't think I was going to get any green peppers this year. Green onions. Still sort of harvesting as we need them. We cut them off, use them, they grow back. They're doing pretty well. See? Doing really, really, really good. We got one. We've already taken one out because you can see the bulb is getting so big. We've just been using the tops. They grow back. But the bulbs are getting pretty big. So, I don't know. Are we supposed to harvest them? These are supposed to be green onions, so the bulbs aren't supposed to be that big. But we harvested, I think, 1 or 2 already, and we ate it. And it was perfectly fine. I'm not picky. I'll eat it. Celery. This year, I was like, well, let me try celery. Honestly, didn't think it was going to work. I didn't think I was going to get any celery. But I've gotten all the celery. So, I'm going to show you how great this is doing. There's a ton of celery. Now, you can see some of it over here is bigger than the rest down here, over here. But this is all still growing. This was, all of this right here, in this area, was all over there. And I had to come in and thin it out and transplant it over here. And all of it's doing really well. Alright, bush beans. Slowly but surely, they do have beans on them, but they're just teeny tiny little things, kind of same size as they've been for a little while, but they're producing more and more. Last Friday, I think I did, with the update, I saw 1 bean. This Friday, I see lots of them. So they're all over. See? You can see all these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they're all over the place. in here. They're just not very big at the moment, but they will be. This one's kind of fallen over. Should stake that or something. I don't know why that particular one is falling over. These ones are fine. Doing great. So, we'll have bush beans pretty soon, I think. Who knows, with all this crazy heat coming. I'm already feeling it right now. It's getting hot real fast. Alright, let's check in the kale and carrots. Looking great. I weeded through here yesterday. I accidentally pulled a carrot. It is an orange little carrot, but it's a teeny little thing. So they're definitely not ready, but it's doing really well. And I'd like to actually harvest some of this kale, so I think I'm going to do that with the salad. But it's doing really well. On to squash. So, I'm going to step back for a second here. Can you see the height of these leaves? This is zucchini over here, squash over here. Do you see how big that is? So my dilemma with that is it looks beautiful, it looks nice and full, and that's great. But the problem with it, from what I'm seeing and reading, is the flowers for the pollinators. You see in there? See the flower inside there? And there's actually a couple of them in there. They're harder for the pollinators to see because they're underneath all of this beautiful leaf coverage. So what I'm seeing by some pretty well-known gardeners is that I'm supposed to thin this out. I think I remember doing that last year, taking out some leaves, just a few sort of canopy leaves, so that the sun can get in and the pollinators can get in. Because I was wondering, I'm thinking, why is my squash and zucchini garden not producing as much as it should be? Last year it was over there where the celery is now. That's where I had them, and they did great. Now you can also see over there, and the celery is all sun right now, and right here is shade. But that won't be for long. Emmy's in the house, Mason! So, a little time, like you can see it starting right here. The sun's coming in. This entire area will be just flooded with sunlight. So it gets lots and lots and lots of sun, which is fine. But I think that even with all that sun, this is getting sort of too shaded, and we need to cut some of these leaves so that the pollinators can see these beautiful flowers. We do have a couple. There's a bee in there, but it's, oh no, it's alive. I thought it was dead. There's a bee in there. But we have, I see a squash. Where's the squash? Right there, growing under that flower. Right there. But guys, it should be, oh, there's one over there. Okay, well, we're starting. But honestly, it should be more than this by now. I've only harvested 2. Is it 2? I think 2 squash. Oh, there's 2 bees in there now. See, I opened this up. I moved them. There's 2 bees in there. It just flew in. See the bees? That's what I'm saying. See, I opened this up right here by moving these over. And the bees just flew right in. Yep, I think that's what needs to be done. I harvested 2 squash out of here, yellow squash. And 2 zucchini. And there should be a lot more by now. Ayden's garden over there, he's got yellow squash coming out his ears. So, there's a zucchini starting here, I can see it. Which, after yesterday, I was pretty upset with the slug issue. We had no slugs last year. I don't remember, well, I remember a couple. But this year's more slugs. I don't understand why that is. We're having the issues with the beetles this year. Didn't have that issue last year. On to the broccoli. So I want you guys to notice something. I'm going to put this down a little bit. You see how tall this broccoli is? See how high that is? That's pretty tall. And I went back in my videos from last year at this same time, and the broccoli was so much shorter. So I don't know if there are different types. I know there's like broccolini and that kind of thing. I don't know if there's different types of broccoli. That I thought I just grabbed a normal regular broccoli. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But it was a lot shorter. I mean, I was probably half this size of these. And gave us beautiful heads of broccoli. Like I had like 5 or 6. I had a main head and then the offshoots, like 5 or 6 on each plant. But these are kind of weird looking. I don't know how to explain it. One of them already started to flower that we had to harvest like immediately. Because it was literally the broccoli itself was flowering. We've harvested 2 off of here. We have 1 here and 1 here that we took off. Oh, 3. So we did 1 over there yesterday. Because it looked like it was about to get to that point of flowering. And from what I read, you don't want that. But I mean, otherwise, the broccoli's doing amazing. I'm just curious about the flowering this early and how tall they are, of what actual kind they are. I wish I would have kept the bag. But I mean, last year we had 6, I think, broccoli plants. This year I don't even know how many. We have so many of them, which is good because we eat a lot of broccoli. Okay guys, so what I would consider to be sort of the crown jewel of the garden is, I couldn't even imagine having a garden without having tomatoes. I love my tomatoes. Growing my own tomatoes to make my own sauce, tomato soup, all that stuff is, to me, is like amazing. It is the best feeling in the world. And we have 6 tomato plants here, and every one of them are doing wonderful. They're doing fantastic. Lots and lots of, we've already got 1 million tomatoes. I mean, we haven't been able to harvest any yet because they aren't red yet, but they're just starting to get a little bit of an orangey tinge to them. You probably can't see it that well on camera, but I can see just starting. And then we've got lots of little babies, lots of flowers for more. 1 mosquito. Yeah, so I keep coming out because they're now growing so fast that I keep coming out and having to fix them in the cage so that they're not falling over. Last year we had a few that kind of were too far down, falling over, breaking off. I didn't want that again. So I'm learning. Lots of babies. Every plant has just multiple tomatoes on them. This one has a few. We've got lots of little ones, flowers. Every one of them has tomatoes on them. And I cannot tell you how happy that makes me. I'm just thrilled to death that my tomato plants are doing well. Alright guys, remember my asparagus plants that I thought I ripped all out and killed? Well, we have a whole row here that has lived, that I didn't rip out. I thought I did. And then we have 1 here, kind of a straggler, and then like 3 there. And then all of this is Swiss chard. It's just a little bit. I had some. I was like, well, let's throw it in, see what happens. It's growing. All right, let's go see Emily's, garden. I haven't actually been back here in a little bit. And look at her corn. She has corn growing right there. You see that? Even that one has a teeny tiny one in it right here. This is another one right there. You can see it past that leaf. So she actually has corn. This is already like seeding on the top here. And these aren't very big. So we'll see if that corn comes to fruition, but she did a good job. We still haven't done any weeding back here, even though this was like one of my #1 projects. But it will get done because I want it cleared out for the renewal. And we have to even out this ground where we took a lot of these wood chips. There's still some wood chips which I'll use, but you can see now the stump from the tree. So I just want to sort of even all this out. Holy moly, it's getting hot out here now. I am sweating. Alright, let's go check out the herbs. Alright, herbs are doing great. I just harvested a whole bunch of all of them and dried them. Basil, still doing wonderful. It's nice and big. We've had to pick off, so you can see right here. You don't want it to flower. That one looks like it's starting to flower. You don't want them to flower. So I pick off the ends like that so that they don't flower. And they'll just keep producing. We got our lovely chives here. Come out and clip them as we need them. And then our oregano has decided to take off. And I want it to get bigger because although I have taken all of these and I've dried them, put them in jars that we use, I would like to hang some to dry. I think that looks really pretty, and I'd like to put some in the house to hang and dry, and it smells really nice. So I want to do that. So we're letting some of these get really tall, and then we'll clip them off, as well as the parsley. We've got a few really big ones. So a little bit longer, and we'll be able to hang them. But otherwise, they're doing great. This is the time. It smells so good. I'm pretty satisfied with it. And I think overall, our garden is doing amazing. So we have a couple bare spots that I will end up using for the fall garden. I haven't put anything in them right now because I want to do a fall garden. And I'm kind of waiting because I've got an idea of when other things are going to die back and once we harvest them. And like here where the potatoes were, that is going to be part of the fall garden. When I get a little bit more, like the broccoli will only produce for so long. We'll harvest it all. We'll pull out the plants. The rabbits love these leaves. They absolutely love them. Actually, I'm gonna pick some. There you go. It's on her face. It's like they were made for each other. I have never seen two rabbits acclimate to each other so fast and so friendly. I had a partition up in this cage that I made when we got PJ, because I didn't know if she was pregnant. We were trying to keep them separated if she had the babies. It was hard getting the PJ and Cottontail acclimated. They fought like crazy. They like bit each other, chased each other. We had to constantly monitor them and keep them apart and slowly get them together. We like brought them in the house, and finally they became friends, but it took probably a week and a half for that to happen. These guys like love each other in less than a day. I had the partition up in here, Cottontail on one side, Bear on the other side. Call him Teddy Bear. He looks like a teddy bear to me. And they saw each other, they could smell each other, and I think the kids got in here to take it down. They cleaned out the cage, gave them fresh water and food, and they got together, and they didn't even fight. She's looking for more. She's like, hey, I want more leaves. You guys hungry? You got your food. All right, I'll have the kids come out and get you some food. One thing we like to do is supplement some of they eat pellets, but some of their pellets with, they love weeds, they love flowers, they love broccoli leaves, they love all that stuff. So we like to supplement sometimes and just dig it out and fill them up, and they love it. So I'll have the kids come out here and do that now. You getting the water, buddy? Yep. All right. This is why we give them 2 watering things. I don't even know what those are called. Is because they drink tons and tons of water. We like to make sure there's always a backup. Now it's really going to be indoor stuff. I have to prepare, I have Ayden come out and get these beans, but I have to prepare the inside of the house for our guests and also finish what I was doing because we have the renewal coming up. All those pallets over there, I'm making tables. Last night I was sitting on the swing with Matt, and we're thinking, oh, okay, I gotta put in for the chairs, rent the chairs for the renewal. He's like, well, can't you make them? I'm like, okay, sure, I can make them, but you gotta get me more pallets. So that's another project on my list. So I'll be making tables, making benches, not chairs, I'll be making benches. So I don't mind the stuff. I like building, but it's a lot of work and a little amount of time. So hopefully I can get that done fairly quickly.